Let's go. Yo, get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back.
All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack 2022 Fantasy Football Team Previews. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings, and with me to do that is Mr. Dylan Clemons. And let's just jump right into things here with our quarterback, Mr. Kirk Cousins, overall 121, QB 17. Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion are sitting there behind him. And Kirk Cousins is an interesting one. He feels a little underrated, and I guess I understand why. Lack of rushing, but is Kirk Cousins somebody that you think you'd be willing to buy at a higher price than QB 17?
That's fantastic value, Joe. Right where he's going, he finished QB 11 the last two seasons. He's just never gonna have huge weeks, but for the most part, he's not ever going to kill you either. He's just perfectly solid. He's got fantastic weapons all around him. He's very underrated in my book.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, man. Like QB 11, 2 seasons in a row, and then being ranked at QB 17. His ADP is around 15 right now for quarterbacks. Feels a little disrespected.
Yeah.
But again, I sort of get it, right? Everybody, you don't want to draft the quarterback who's going to finish exactly where you draft him, right? Like you want the quarterback who's going to finish and be, this year's, third or fourth QB. You want last year's Justin Herbert, right? You took Herbert, at like QB 10 last year, and he finishes QB 2, right? You want Lamar 3 seasons ago, right? When he busted out or whatever it was. You want these guys when they break out. Cousins isn't going to break out. Like, he's not all that's going to be like, oh, hey, I'm a top 5 QB now. Mm-hmm. No, it's just not going to happen. People want Trey Lance because they think his rushing floor could do it. People want, Wilson's still ahead of him because he's in a new team. And that's fair. But Cousins is a guy last round of your draft just about, and just be like, I'm good. I'll take my 18 a game from my quarterback and not have to worry about, my quarterback busting on me, because I don't think Cousins could bust. He's got too good of weapons, right? Obviously, Cook and Mattison, Jefferson, Theilen, Irv Smith is back this year. KJ Osborne's no slouch. Like, it's some good weapons, and I could get on board with taking Kirk Cousins. You'll get laughs out of your draft room, but
yeah, totally.
I think you'll have the last laugh if you drafted a good enough team around him, because he is plenty fine for fantasy. Yep. Running backs, so we got Dalvin Cook sitting here at overall 3, running back 3, Alexander Mattison, his backup 104.41, Wayne Gallman, CJ Ham's still there. Dalvin Cook. So let's say you've got your third pick in your draft, right? Obviously, JT going number 1. Most drafts, McCaffrey's still going number 2. You pulling the trigger on Dalvin Cook right there?
I'm okay with him being the third player off the board and the third running back, but I'm kind of debating between him, Cooper Kupp, or even his teammate Justin Jefferson there, quite frankly, man. I like all 3 of them. But if you do draft Dalvin Cook, definitely draft Alexander Mattison too, man, because when Cook has been injured, which has been quite frequent, he's never played in every game of the season. Alexander Mattison just steps right in and is a stud, man.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. It was weird because for a couple of seasons there, it was, Mattison was 100% a backup that you needed to have, and then the COVID year happened, and Mattison was terrible. Yeah. And they were like, well, maybe not. And then last year he was good again. So back into the must-have handcuffs. I am not a guy who believes in you have to handcuff your running backs.
Agreed.
But I'm a guy who thinks you have to handcuff some running backs. Dalvin Cook's one of them. Zeke is one of them. Yep. That kind of thing. So at this point, possibly Christian McCaffrey is one of them. I guess he keeps getting hurt. But yeah, I like the fact that you say go get both. It does mean you probably are going to have to reach around, if not two, from Mattison to make sure you get him. And you're just going to have to hold on to him through those weeks where Mattison does nothing. That's going to happen a lot. I'm actually not on board with Cook at 3. I'm really not.
I was going to ask you where you have him in your rankings.
So yeah, I mean, my half PPR rankings here right now, I've got him. I've got him 4. So it's not terrible, but like my gut says to push him lower. And I'm looking at like his game log last year, his per game. Now, granted, this has a few games where he gets hurt in the middle of them, but his per game average was only 14.5 last year in half PPR. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Chubb finished higher than him, and Chubb doesn't catch passes, right? A whole bunch of guys finish above him, that or you can get much later. So I'll be honest, like this is a year where I kind of don't think I really want an early first pick. I want like the back half so I can like get a couple of these guys and hope that one of them works out. It'd be awesome to have Jonathan Taylor. I think he's fairly safe, but we say that a lot about the first pick overall, and it doesn't always work. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I have my reservations with Cook. I think he's a top-notch talent. He obviously had plenty of good games, but he had plenty of games too. I mean, it just is what it is with him, and like maybe they are turning into a bit more of a passing attack because of the weapons they've got there now, with Justin Jefferson being a stud. Yes. Overall 10, wide receiver 3, Adam Theilen, 113 and 42. Always just a guy hanging around, right? His touchdowns are never real, right? That's what Twitter says. KJ Osborne, 240 and 84. Oh, I'm going to get some hate for that one.
I knew you were going to make an Adam Thielen touchdown comment. I knew it was coming.
Oh, it was too easy not to. Or it was too it was too easy. So yeah, let's see here. So we've got this room. I mean, Jefferson, he finished as a top 20 wide receiver in 13 games. Is he going to be able to sustain this, elite level of play here for a third consecutive season?
Yeah, man. Like you said, he's just an absolute stud. We talked earlier. We like his quarterback for the most part.
Enough. We like him enough.
Yes. 167 targets, man, last year. Holy.
Yes.
1,600 yards is 10 touchdowns. Thielen was hurt. Shocker. So the 167 targets, it has a little bit to do with it. But yeah, I could totally see him repeating, and he maybe even being better than, like I said, I'm even willing to maybe take him at 3 over Cooper Kupp and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Jefferson finished as the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I don't think that's the question, and I'll tell you, man, I really do like the value of Thielen. That's super value there. I mean,
it is.
You guys, he finished. He had. I just had it up. Where'd my screen go? He had 12 and almost 13 fantasy points a game in the games he played in. Granted, yeah, he does get hurt, but taking that all day at wide receiver 42.
Yeah, that's great, man.
That's phenomenal. I want all of that. So that is definitely something that I will be. I have a feeling, especially in best ball, man, I'm gonna have a lot of Adam Thielen.
And I don't hate the KJ Osborne dart throw at the end of drafts either, because we saw him absolutely explode some weeks last year.
Well, yeah, especially those weeks when Adam Thielen is hurt, right? Yep. He's going to be a fine dart throw. He's more of a best ball for me, like go grab him on the waiver wire that week that you need him type of thing. He's a tough player to draft and stash in a redraft. Mm-hmm. Unless you're in a really deep league, I think that would be really, really tough to do here. But let's finish it off here with our tight end room. And Mr. Irv Smith is returning from injury. Overall 157, tight end 22. There was a lot of buzz around Irv Smith last year. And obviously it did not happen, but any thought that Irv Smith can be what everybody was so excited about for last year? Can this breakout finally happen? Because the big thing is, Kirk Cousins loves throwing to his tight ends. Well, maybe he really just likes throwing to Justin Jefferson instead. But what? Right. What do we do with Irv Smith in drafts? I mean, tight end 22 feels pretty low.
Yeah, but I think that's about where he should be. It's not getting me super excited. Like last year, we were at times we were like, man, maybe we should stream Conklin this week. And I feel like every time we said that on the Start Sit show, it never ended up working out well. So I know Irv Smith is ideally more talented than Tyler Conklin, but he's just not someone that I'm targeting.
Yeah, I'm not going to target him in drafts, but he's definitely going to be something I'm keeping an eye on in the early season, especially, I'm usually a later tight end guy. I mean, like just 2 seasons ago, and remember, this was Kyler Rudolph was there, right? Still, so they were basically splitting work. He still averaged, 6.5 fantasy points a game and finished the year pretty strong. He had a 14.5 point week, had a 20-point week near the end of the season. I think there is something to Irv Smith. It's just, 2 seasons ago, right? That was before Jefferson is obviously a monster. Yep. Thielen's still there. Osborne wasn't there 2 seasons ago. So now that, the offense has grown around those guys and Irv Smith wasn't able to be there last year, I am a little hesitant to buy in on it, but it definitely is somebody that I will be watching with a close eye early on to see if I can snag a waiver wire tight end gem who they pop up all the time. So yeah, I'll be looking for it. But that is it for the Minnesota Vikings preview show. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave those comments. We appreciate it. And make sure you check out the rest of our team previews here on the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel.